I'm getting tired of this. We got to turn this market around, and I think we need to realize that we're being taken advantage of, that we're actually at the mercy of Wall Street, and anytime they want to take the market down, anytime our government wants to mismanage our economy, they can, and we the investors, and when I say we, I mean you and I, fall victim to it. But it doesn't have to be that way. Let me give you some numbers. There are 3.75 million people that run Wall Street. 3.75 million. There are 145 million U.S. investors in the stock market. There's far more times. I think that's about 38 times the number of people who are running it. It's time to turn it around and take control of it. Is that possible, you say? Well, yes, it is. It is possible because we saw it done. We saw it done by Reddit. We saw Reddit take the short sellers of GameStop and AMC to the cleaners. We saw a group of people, a group of young people who knew how to use the internet, take control and hand them their lunch. It's time we, as investors, take control of this stock market that we finance. There's 145 million of us up against 3.75 million Wall Streeters. If I had told you we were going to war and those were the sizes of our conflicting armies, who would you bet on? Well, of course, you'd bet on the 145 million, unless they were unorganized and the 3.75 million had a well-oiled machine to kick your ass. Well, that's exactly what's happening. But it doesn't have to be that way anymore. We can form a tribe. We can form a tribe and communicate and manipulate as well as they can. Yeah, they may have quantum computers, but we just go away from their game. We invest in those things that are going to change the way we live. That's what this video is going to be about. How we take control of this stock market. It's about time. Aren't you tired of having your retirement account emptied at the will of Jamie Dimon and BlackRock and Fidelity? Aren't you tired of that? Well, it's time to turn the tables on them. And we were given a lesson by a bunch of young people 2 years ago on how to do it. All right, let's talk a little bit more about this.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
I have a good friend who goes to Tunica, Mississippi, to gamble. In Alabama, we don't have casinos. Just our neighboring states have casinos and lotteries. We don't have anything like that. And he goes and he gets free lunch, free dinner. He gets free cocktails. He even gets a room. But he goes over to gamble. Do you think there's something a little peculiar about that? On the same token, do you think there's something peculiar about your arrangement with your broker? You get free trades? Have you ever looked? I hope you don't use margin, but have you ever looked at what he charges you for using margin? 9.5%. Do you ever look at what he charges you to buy options? It's a rigged game. It really is. It's the same thing as Las Vegas or Tunica, Mississippi. And if you're going to play it, you need to understand that and understand that it's set up to take advantage of you. Look at a chart. You can see that periodically the market takes a dip down, and it's being done for a reason. It's being done so that the hedge funds, so that the large investment banks can return profits to their investors. and you are the victim. How often do you hear about people who lose their 401k or their IRA, and they don't have money for their retirement? I saw it in the dot-com bubble. I saw it in the subprime crisis. And I'm just saying that we outnumber them. And we need to use the internet. And I'll say up front, I'm not smart enough to make this happen. I've got the idea. I've started a tribe to help me learn more from those people and then me share my knowledge with them so that they can have a chance at this game we're playing. What I believe is that somewhere in this mix, there are people who can put a tribe together that actually wins at this Wall Street game, that actually beats this group of 3.75 million people that basically take advantage of the amateur investor on a regular basis. You've got to question their motives. You've got to question their way of doing business. What I would propose to you then is understand what they're doing. They are suppressing the price of the stock so that they can take the money out of your brokerage account and then buy the stock back at a depressed price so that that growth ends up in their accounts. That being done, in order to avoid it, you have to, number one, play the game with cash and not get into a margin situation where you are forced to make bad decisions. They know where your stop loss orders are. They have that information. I would ask you, do you have the information as to where their stop loss orders are? Is that a fair game? No, it is not. So understand that up front. And then I would say, look at what is going to change the world that you live in. And what I want to do here is show you some stocks that I own and that I want to own, tell you why I own them, and how I think I can beat Wall Street at its game. I want to share this portfolio with you and kind of just indoctrinate you to my thought on investing, and that is not to compete on a day-to-day basis with the economic situations of the Fed and the machine that is run by as I said, 3.6 million people who run Wall Street. I want to invest in companies that I think are going to change the way I live. And so right here is my portfolio. And I want to, first of all, show you how I break it down. My biggest holdings are Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, and NVIDIA. It represents 61.7% of my portfolio. And the reason is, these are the people who have shown me that they have the talent, they have the skills, and they have the money to change the world I live in. They can adapt to whatever the change is going to be. And I will share with you, I think the biggest change is going to be in the medical field. And I keep going back to Tim Cook saying back in 2019 to Jim Cramer, if you go to 2035 and you look back at Apple, we will be most known for our change in the healthcare field. Google runs my Fitbit. These companies, and then NVIDIA, for goodness sakes, they are creating the most advanced chips in the world. And where are you going to find them? In the gaming world. That's where the internet moves the fastest, eats up the most energy, and that's where NVIDIA is at. And that's where I think Meta is going to be in the metaverse, being Facebook. But then from that point on, my next biggest holding is 19.1%, and that's in the healthcare revolution. You've got to recognize that what we've been through in the last year is all about the healthcare situation, and that our country, our civilization, it was almost brought to its knees as a result of a virus that came out of Wuhan, China, and the change that is going to occur in there. I have a retirement channel, and I'm doing a series right now, basically that I'm going to live forever, and I believe that. I believe that they're going to take the diseases out of my body through genome sequencing and genome editing, and that kill me. And then all I have to do is keep what I've got in shape. So, like last 2 days this week, I've gone to the track and run. I run a 50, 100, and a 75-meter dash, and I just kill my body. Why? Because I'm trying to keep my heart healthy. I'm trying to keep the muscles in my body healthy, because I know these people, CRISPR, Caribou, Editas, Nutella, Beam, and Illumina and Pacific Biosciences are going to take the diseases out of my body that kill me. Then from that point on, once I get to 140, now I got to get replacement parts. But I honestly believe if I take care of myself, I can live forever, or pretty close to forever. So that's what I want to invest in, and that's what I want to encourage you. Think in the future. How is the world going to change? Don't worry about, I just saw something that Warren Buffett is buying Occidental Petroleum. Do you really believe that gasoline and oil are a part of our future? Or do you believe that electric vehicles are going to place? Do you believe that I'm going to have a battery in my garage that is run off of solar power and I will not need fossil fuels? Do you believe that? If you do, then don't get caught up in all this nonsense of gas prices and inflation. Hell, inflation and gas prices, don't you remember in April, May, June of 2000, what is it, 2000? Yeah. There were tankers sitting out in our harbors that didn't have any place to unload that fuel. They then shut down their oil drilling. They sent their workers home. Now that's why the fuel is up. Yeah, Joe did shut down a pipeline because he believed that the world was going to make an effort to get away from fossil fuels. Why would you invest in Occidental Petroleum and it's up threefold in the last 8 months? Why would you do that? So don't get involved in that. Then I'm into 3D printing. I have taken a beating in this. DDD and DMD. I mean, DM, desktop metals. Desktop metals dropped 60% one day earlier this week. But even with that, now my fear is they'll be bought out. But because they are the leader in this field, and do I believe that car parts, that 3D printing is going to bring manufacturing back to the United States? Yes, I do. DDD, they make medical parts. You will not get a polymer knee anymore. You'll get one printed that is going to match the bone work in your body. You lose your ear, they'll 3D print an ear for you. This is the future. Then I go into the metaverse. I have about 5%, and you can see the stocks, and you can do the research and see what they're all about. Then in the EV, you're going to notice I'm not owning Tesla. I'm owning the mining companies, the companies that are going to find the energy, not the energy, but the minerals that we need to have a chance in this electric vehicle world and the change of the electric world. The fact is that China controls that now. If you've seen my video yesterday, China is a decaying country, as is Russia. Watch my video yesterday, and you'll get a whole new picture of why we can't depend on these people. Number one, they're adversaries. Number two, they're decaying. And they're not going to be able to supply us with what we need because they don't have the workers to do it. They don't have the miners to mine the lithium. We have the lithium. We have it here. That's MP. That's why I own it. And then cybersecurity, of course. Go back to 1980. How dependent were you on a computer? Zero. Today, how dependent are you on a computer? I would guess somewhere around 90% of your life activity in some way is connected to a computer. That's cyber. They aren't going to be flying airplanes over you and dropping bombs in the future. They're going to be coming, if they're coming after you, it'll be through your computer and it'll be cyber. Then FinTech, I own Square. And then Netlist is my gamble that this little company that got screwed by Google will win a major lawsuit, and that stock will take off. So that's what I own. What I suggest you do is stop the video, do a screenshot, and you've got it. I don't need to send it to you if it has any appeal. But where I really want to emphasize is we can win at this game. We outnumber them. We outnumber them by huge numbers. We just got to stop them from taking advantage of us by not playing their game. As long as you play their game, they're going to take your money away from you. They are. That's how the game is played. If you've been to Las Vegas and you've walked into Caesar's Palace and you looked around, just look around at the surroundings, you know you have no chance of winning. If you win, they let you win so that you'll come back. It's like my friend. Why does he get a free hotel there? Why does he get free drinks and free dinners? Because he loses money. And that's what their business model is all about. The same thing as Wall Street. So that's what I'm all about. That's what Best of Us as investors is all about. If you can help me grow this, please come to the Discord and work with me, and let's turn this into our advantage. Let's turn this into our game. The technology is there to flip this playing field. Okay? Talk to you again tomorrow.